Okay, so this is going to be my angry rant video. I just realized I start everything with, okay, so first, I'd like to say that, dear Dan, you're always like, I have no friends. This is why you have no friends, because you make jackass comments when I'm simply complaining just to complain. If you want to be my friend, let me complain. Let me be angry that I shell out all the money that I don't have for books, and then I go to sell them to whoever, and they're like, oh, just kidding, we made 7 new editions since you started this semester. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I have to say, too, when I start every semester, I don't buy the books right away because I go to the class first and find out if the professor even uses the book, which half the time they're like, oh yeah, the required book, you don't actually need it. I'm like, okay, cool, that works out. Or, like this semester, when I talked to the professors and they were like, yeah, I'm required to tell you to get the newest edition, but the old editions are exactly the same. Example number one of my books, I had the new edition and someone else in the class had like 3 editions before that. We put them side by side, opened up to a bunch of random pages, and then like all the pages that we've used throughout the year we've compared. The books are exactly the same. Exactly. Like the cover changed and that was it. Ridiculous. Yeah, the markup on textbooks is stupid. I looked it up and I guess the inflation of textbooks is like 4% a year, which doesn't sound that bad, but if I'm already paying out the ass for tuition, then why am I spending $500 on books that I don't need after one class? I couldn't afford books last semester, so you know what I did? I got up early before my morning classes, and like earlier than early, so that I could do my hair and do my makeup and look all cute, so that way I could walk into class and be like, who wants to share their book with me? Just kidding, I didn't do that all the time, but like some classes I have friends and we share them, but yeah, other than that I have to be like, oh, I don't have the book, do you want to share it with me? Like, not proud. Not proud. While I'm ranting, I just have to say gas prices, glad they're going down, but the only reason they're going down is because next year is election year, so right after that they're going to shoot back up. And I drive a Sentra, so I get like 30 miles to the gallon, which is awesome. It's great. But still, I have realized that I keep cutting my budget every time gas prices go up. So I'm spending all my money on gas and I have no money for anything else. And it's ridiculous. Last time it was election year, that was right after I got my license. So gas was like $1.50 a gallon. That was awesome. I would love for it to go back to that. I remember when I was little and it was less than $1. That's never ever gonna happen again. Gas and textbooks are like the same idea. You have to have it, so they're like, oh, we're gonna charge you an arm, a leg, a kidney, your first child, your second child, all of your children, your cousins, your nieces, your nephews, so that you can afford it, because you have to have it. It's ridiculous. So I've decided with all my books that are absolutely worthless after this semester, I am going to have everyone over my house, and I have a bonfire pit all set up in the backyard already. We'll just throw all our worthless books into the bonfire and we'll have a big bonfire. Bring your own beverages. We'll leave it at that. And I will be drinking chocolate milk, but I will also bring marshmallows and chocolate and graham crackers, and we can make s'mores. Textbooks suck s'mores. It's the new name for them. Yeah. Oh, and I hate how everybody's like, oh, Occupy Wall Street, like, blah blah blah, the 1%. Yeah, well, Dan in a way is right. Like, people want to make money, so if you're working your butt off and you're making money, like, good for you, you made it somewhere. But, those are the same people who are like, stop giving the rich people tax breaks. What people need to understand, and this isn't me being a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, I don't even vote, we'll get to that in a second, but what people need to understand is that when we give rich people tax breaks, they take that money and they spend it, which helps the economy. When you don't give them tax breaks or you raise their taxes, they're like, oh crap, we have less money now. So what do? They save it. They hoard all their money in investments, in savings accounts, in whatever, and it doesn't go into the economy. It doesn't go into retail and go into the pockets of you and me that work crappy jobs at Sears stocking shoes. And then we're all poor because they're all rich, but they're like not as rich as they'd like to be, so they're hoarding all of their money. Point made. The reason I don't vote is because for every one educated person such as myself who like looks at every candidate and weighs the pros and the cons, thinks about the points that they make, what they're willing to do in office, first of all, that's usually a lie. They're like, pixie sticks for everyone, Glee reference. For every one educated person such as myself, there's like 27 uneducated people who watch the Jersey Shore and they vote for whoever they like feel like that day. I think they sit in the poll booth and they're like, eeny meeny miny mo, I don't know how to spell your name, you don't sound American, monster trucks, and I'm gonna vote for this person. Like, I'm embarrassed to live in this country sometimes. Like, fully, wholeheartedly embarrassed. So, in closing, let me complain about textbooks because they suck, and